Wake up, America. It's time to talk about salt on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting right here by my side. If you're watching us, thank you so much for being on this journey with us. If you're one of our regular listeners, thank you so much for always hanging out with us and listening and watching us. And if you're a new listener, we welcome you. We invite you to check out our library of over 400 podcasts out there, right? Episodes.
We're getting close to 450.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's talk about salt. Salt, such an important thing, not talked about enough.
Yeah.
We need salt.
We do.
We need salt. Did you know that your body is 80% water and that water is salty? That water is salty. I mean, if you've ever tasted your blood, if you cut yourself and tasted your blood, or even if you sweat,
Taste your tears.
Salty.
You're all salty.
Exactly. So salt is very important. Yeah. It's very crucial and essential for life.
I have to tell you, whenever I talk to a patient and they have high blood pressure and they tell me that their doctor has told them to stay away from salt, I just cringe. I cringe every single time.
And why is that, Tina?
Because you need salt. You need salt.
You do. Absolutely.
So I have to teach them about good versus bad salt.
And I bet that excites them because
it does.
Come on. What's food without some seasoning with salt? I mean, at least for this Puerto Rican.
Right?
Yes. My wife has to constantly be managing my salting techniques. Sometimes I have to tell her, step away. I'm cooking tonight.
Oh my goodness.
But actually, it's true. I mean, honey, it's important to have a lot of salt.
It is important to
have good salt. To have salt.
Yes.
So are there differences in the different? There's all sorts of different salts out there. What's the difference? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
So when we started on our journey, on our wellness journey, like 15, 17 years ago, we were eating regular table salt, right? What is it called? Morton's. I mean, whatever you buy at the store. Yeah. We were using that. That's what we used to cook. That's what we used to sprinkle on our food. And then as we started learning, we started realizing that salt is not healthy and it's not good, mainly because it's processed, of the way that it's processed. And in the processing of the salts, there are chemicals that are used in the processing that's actually what is harmful, and that's actually what can drive your blood pressure up.
Yeah, so during the processing, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts before, but whenever a food has been processed, like salt or wheat or flour, what happens is that everything that's good about that product, so in this case salt, is literally stripped from it, and then the chemicals are added during the processing. So it's not the salt that's making our body sick, it's the chemicals that are in the salt that's making us sick. And then you have high blood pressure, probably because you're consuming so much of these chemicals, and then your doctor says stop eating salt. Okay. It's really, really bad advice, because we need salt. Even like with our super salts, our electrolyte salts, I have to convince patients about how important it is to replace those electrolytes. So those salts go in water, right? Whereas, I also tell them it's okay to use salt on your food. You just want to make sure you're using unprocessed salts, right? So there's a handful of unprocessed salts out there. There's quite a few. Some of them are also known as kosher salt.
Right.
So I don't know, did you want to talk about all the different kinds of salt?
Yeah, no, we could talk about it. I mean, you have the sea salt, you have the Himalayan salts, you have the Celtic salts. There's the sea salt that we use is called real salt. Okay, it's called real salt. And so the difference with these salts, like for example, the Himalayan salts, which really are very popular and tend to be more of the pinkish salts, you know, those typically are harvested from salt beds that haven't been contaminated with pollution. All right, they haven't been contaminated. They're not being processed like Tina was just talking about. You know, regular salts or regular salt, and they have a ton of amazing minerals, crucial minerals that your body needs.
Well, like we were looking up just Himalayan salt in general, and it has 84 essential trace elements.
I didn't even know that
we had that
our
many
body
trace
needed that
elements.
many. Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, that's incredible.
It
right?
is. It is.
To know that you can get that from a salt.
Yeah.
That's so critical for the body. So Himalayan salts are, I think out of all the salts, probably Himalayan salt is probably the healthiest salt you could possibly eat.
Yes.
But yeah, I was going to ask you too to tell the story about the rock salts that you used to carry around with you.
Oh,
I don't know
sure.
if you remember those.
Yeah,
Those
absolutely.
were Himalayan salts.
I mean, I've actually had a jar, like a bottle of those little pink rock salts that I get at Trader Joe's. I mean, and I just haven't gone back to get another bottle, but I've continued having that in my backpack through the years because like during my cases at the surgical center, I'll snack and I'll do some grazing throughout the day, but I will from time to time, when I have the salt with those little rocks, pop a couple little rocks into my mouth, put them under my tongue, or just keep them in my mouth and suck on them. And it's such a great source of, first of all, it's a healthy type of salt and the minerals. And it tends to alkalize your body. It tends to, I mean, for me, I don't want to say like it was an energy booster, like if I ate a Snickers bar. But the problem with the Snickers bar is that you're going to get a sugar spike in addition to all the chemicals that go into making that Snickers, but I bring that as an example because I know that it's touted, as like your little energy pick me up in the middle of the day when you're kind of like dragging. But I have found that throughout the day, if I'm dragging, I'll put those salts in, and I don't know, there's something about those salts that just kind of picks me up.
Gives you a boost.
It does. It does.
Without the crash.
Without the crash,
so that's
exactly.
what the sugar does, right? The
Yeah.
sugar is going to give you the boost, but then it's going to give you the major crash.
Exactly.
And that's why we have this cycle with eating sugar, and the same goes with caffeine. Because as soon as that wears off and we crash again, then we need more.
Right.
So it's that constant cycle of the rise and fall of the need for sugar. Whereas in your case, you're just kind of giving your body the essential nutrients that it needs, and then we're going to move on.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so those salts are just so good for you. They really are. They're so good for you. Some people have salt rocks that they keep in their wherever, in different rooms in their house. I mean, I've seen salt rocks at spas because supposedly it puts out really healthy minerals, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be really good as far as keeping the air clean and good for you. So
Do not lick the salt rocks that you find at the spa.
yes,
You can.
I did do it once. Well, I just was curious. Not at the spa, but I don't remember where I was.
Did you lick somebody's salt rock?
No, I don't think it was somebody's salt rock. I think we were, I don't remember where it was, but I was just like looking around. I was like, okay, I'm just going to put the tip of my tongue on this. I just have to know.
Sure enough, salty?
Sure enough, it was very salty.
It was salty.
It's just cool because it's actually like a lamp.
Right.
Like some of the ones that we see are like salt rock lamps. So yeah.
So many ways to incorporate salt. into your
Absolutely,
life.
absolutely.
So putting it on your food.
Yep.
Having a lamp.
Exactly.
Drinking the super salts in your water. Salts are important.
Very. And if you want to know where to put the salt in your food, come one evening when it's Puerto Rican night and cook with me. Watch me cook and I'll show you.
She'll show you how to use salt, all right.
Yeah, usually at the end of, after my cooking nights, Tina's like, now I got to go to the store and get some more salt.
I know. I usually buy the big bag of the
Yeah.
Redmond real salt. And when Dr. Cruz is cooking, I've got to buy that bag much more frequently. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
a clear
salt.
indication right there.
Exactly.
Who's making dinner more regularly?
Get your salts. Get your salts. Very important. Get some Himalayan little rock salts. Keep the bottle in a backpack or your purse and pop 1 or 2 little rocks in your mouth. I mean, pretty amazing.
Definitely healthier than Pop Rocks.
Yes, exactly.
This is the healthy form of Pop Rocks.
Yes.
The adult healthy form of Pop Rocks.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you guys want to connect with us, you can find us on our website, drlizcruz.com. There's a magenta colored button. You can click it and schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult. You could do that from anywhere in the world because it's done over the phone. If you have not rated our program, please rate this podcast. Give us a 5. It'll help other people to find us.
Don't worry, people won't find you.
Exactly, to find us faster. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because we don't want you to miss an episode. Okay?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. Listen, if we sound a little bit out of it, it's because our air conditioner went out and we are podcasting in a room like 90 degrees.
It's June in Arizona. That's all that matters.
That's right, 30% humidity.
I just want to say that's how dedicated we are to you, our listener.
We're going to go change our clothes now. Thank you for joining us and we'll catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.